Hey, Brandon here. Welcome to the channel and thanks for tuning in. Got another 2025 rookie scouting report show for you here today. We're going to talk about Skattebo, right? Is there a hotter running back right now in the NFL draft cycle? I am not sure. Just won the MVP against the game versus Texas the past week. I'm going to break down everything you need to know about him as he heads to the NFL draft. Going to be joined again by Jason DeRienzo, my podcast co-host. We're going to go over his 24 production. We're going to go over some PFF stats and where he stacks up against the rest of the running backs headed to the NFL draft. We're going to talk about his strengths and weaknesses, and then we're going to give you our report card grades after watching the film on him for the 2024 season. So hit that subscribe button. I'm trying to get to 15K subscribers by the NFL draft. Help me get there. Enjoy the show. All right, Jason, let's talk about our second 2025 rookie scouting report player today. And we got to talk about Mr. Skattebo. Is there any more hotter discussion player right now in college football than Mr. Skattebo?
No.
Unfortunately, lost to Texas this past week, but we had to do a film review on him. Now, I put out a film against Iowa State on the YouTube channel. We don't have any all 22, unfortunately, for him. And I did his Texas film. I broke it down. I put that actually on YouTube, Jason, and they blocked it. I guess you can't put the bowl games out too
Really?
early. So yeah, I do. So
Interesting.
if you want access to that again, hit us up on the website down there. So I put it up for our big board subscribers. But 5'11", 250 pounds. I think we were questioning if he's really 5'11". He looks, I don't know, like 5'9.5", maybe. I don't know. But the guy is a big, bruising running back. Okay, he is a senior this year, declared for the NFL draft, I believe. So we're going to go through his 2024 production. We're going to go through some PFF stats. We're going to go his strengths and weaknesses and his scouting report card, where we're going to give some trait grades. So let's go through his 2024 production. This is the regular season. He had 1,399 rushing yards, averaging 5.6 yards a carry, had 17 TDs, receiving yards and TDs, 468 with 3 touchdowns. Now, you guys will see the ranks that we have if you're watching on YouTube next to the following numbers. And these ranks are based on the top 25 running backs headed to the 2025 NFL draft. I'd like to compare players to other players who are going to the NFL draft. So this is what these ranks. And he's got some good numbers in here, man. So, just as a side
Yeah,
note, that 468 yards, he led of all the running backs going to the NFL draft. He has the most receiving yards of any running back.
it's crazy.
So, by, I think, a wide margin. Marion Hampton, I mentioned earlier, is the second back
Yeah,
that has the most
second.
receiving yards, which is pretty interesting.
Wow.
PFF
Yeah.
rush grade 92.6, number 2 of all of the top 25 running backs headed to the draft. So he's got that rushing grade people are going to get excited about. Yards after contact, a whopping 3.91. I thought it was going to be in the fours after watching this kid, but that ranks
That's what I
ninth.
thought.
That ranks ninth in the class. Missed tackles forced, he had 81. That represents, every 33rd% of his runs, he's making, a guy miss. Ranks second in the class. All right, so he's got that elusiveness. He's got that footwork. I think we're going to talk about that, here very shortly. Explosive plays, 10 plus yards. He had 38, which represents 15% of his plays are explosive 10-yard plus plays. Ranked 13th in his elusive rating, ranked third in the class at 131. So, all right, we watched the Iowa State film. We watched the Texas films. Tell the good people, Jason, what did we see on the film?
Man, I'll tell you what. Physical is a word to use, but I'll start when he gets the ball in his hands behind the line of scrimmage. And what I saw is a guy who just allows things to develop right away. Like he's patient enough to just let his blockers set up. He allows the gaps to develop. He does the same thing once he gets through those initial gaps in the trenches. He allows his offensive lineman to set up in the second level as well. So he does a good job of staying on schedule to his assignment, but he is creative in his own way. And that creativity is not based on his like explosive lateral agility. It's based on his physical nature and tenacity to run between the trenches, keep a low pad level, keep his legs moving forward, pressing forward, and gaining additional yards after contact. And that is a part of his game. His contact balance is absolutely elite. I can't, like, you're not going to see a guy like a Dalvin Cook like shifting laterally and making cuts and creating and making explosive plays. You're going to see the complete opposite. He's not this guy for love of God, but he plays more like a Mike Allstott type where he's just running physical, and that is how he is dominating on the field because he understands what his strengths and weaknesses are, and he plays to that. So this is a guy who plays big, he plays physical, he is absolutely probably one of the best competitors I have seen
Yeah.
on the field, especially in this last game against Texas. He there was no way that he was gonna allow himself not to try to get his team to beat that Texas team. Like, he did everything absolutely possible. As a receiver, he understands how to get open, be available for his quarterback. He's got good soft hands. I'm not sure if he's getting yards after the catch on explosive plays, if he's beating out defenders that way, but between the trenches, in the trash areas, I have no issues with him gaining 5 yards. Even if he trips, he's getting 5 yards. I mean, this is a kid who plays low, physical, and has subtle footwork where he can kinda navigate his way through some of those defenders that are allowing those gaps to develop, and, I like what I see. He's very consistent. That tenacity is something that I kind of fall in love with when I'm watching running backs of this nature. I don't know what to make of him at the next level. He could be AJ Dillon or he could be like a Derrick Henry, but just the limited athleticism is where I feel like his ceiling might be capped. So time will tell, but he absolutely has a role. He could be a David Montgomery to a Jameer Gibbs. You know what I mean? So
Right.
there's a role for him for sure. And I came away really impressed. He seems to be able to do it all.
Yeah, I mean, that's a really good outline, I have to say, and I like that David Montgomery comp as far as like a landing spot type role in the NFL.
Yeah.
He is just a physical finisher. I mean, this guy
Yes.
is. I mean, he wants to punish people,
Yep,
and
he
there
does.
was a lot of plays on those films where I wish that he instead of was taking the physical route trying to win, where he would try and make guys miss just a little bit more. Like, I mean,
Mhm.
I get it, but that
I know
that
what you're talking
that
about.
shit ain't that shit ain't gonna work in the NFL. Like, I mean,
No,
you're playing against the big
It's
boys,
not.
right?
I
So
know.
you can punish these little DBs and linebackers in college. Not that they're little, um, but I think you know what you said something really interesting. I like the way he navigates in the trenches. I think he
Yeah.
does have that subtle footwork. He doesn't have that drop dead leg kind of stop and go
Right.
ability to make guys miss, but shuffles his feet really well. Can redirect and really work his way through the line of scrimmage. So it's going to be really interesting. I agree with you. I mean, just where he, what role he finds. I mean, I don't see him as a guy that's going to get a lead role by any means, but I think he can certainly have a very active and productive role. And just what we need, right, is another quarterback or another running back in this class to, you know, when we start doing our
Right.
ranks towards the end, it's like, I mean, all these guys just like look the same after a while. You know what I mean?
They
Because you got so
do. I
damn
was just
many of
gonna
them.
say that, man.
So,
It's crazy.
I thought his vision was pretty good. I
I
thought,
did too.
well, let's talk a little bit more. Let's get to a scouting report card here. Our
Okay.
favorite part of the show, right? His vision and patience. I gave him a B. I think he works really well going to the line of scrimmage. There were some times where the vision, I think, broke down, where he tries to win more physical than trying to you know, kind of process a little more. I think he knows how strong he is and he loves that physical kind of play. But I think there's going to be times I think he's going to have to learn how to navigate a little bit more sometimes because you're not going to be able to win physical like he does play now in the NFL on a regular basis. I don't think he's going to be able to do that. So I gave him a B.
No, I mean, I give him a B plus. I think part of his game that benefits him is the fact that he does allow things to set before he runs because that acceleration is kind of limited. So I think for him to have that patience and then the vision to kind of go with it is definitely something that's going to benefit him. So
Yeah.
I gave him a B. B plus
Sweet.
actually.
Yeah, the B plus, right. The sweet feet meter and lateral agility. I gave him a B plus for his size. Like again, just on basic skill alone. But if there's an NFL franchise out there looking for a big physical back, I think he's got enough ability with his feet. Saw some really nice ability to, navigate through the trenches where he's forward looking. And I think his footwork followed what he was seeing on the field at times. So I gave him a B plus.
Yeah, I gave him a B. he's listed at this 5'11", 215. That's the same size as like J.K. Dobbins and Marshawn Lloyd. He looks bigger than that to
He
me.
does. Yeah.
For his size, for what I think he's definitely bigger than 215 pounds. It is really impressive, just the subtle footwork and the navigation with the lateral agility that he has. So I give him a B.
Acceleration and long speed, I gave him a B minus. I mean, if there's one drawback, and I've said it many times, and I'll say it again, long speed for a running back, I think is icing on the cake, right? For me, it's the first 10 yards. That's what the NFL wants. They want you to get the 5, 6 yards. If you can break away and run here and there, that's even better. But you moving the sticks is really what the game's all about. The long speed, he got tracked down in this game 3 or 4 times. Pretty easily. And his acceleration, I think, is good, but it's not great. So I gave him a B minus.
Yeah, I gave him a C. I mean, I think this is the part of this game that's going to cap his ceiling of potential. But I do think that the intelligence that he showcases, which, it's kind of very similar to Kyron Williams, who ran a slow 40, but
Yeah.
understands how to, create space and make himself available and receiving and get open and find a way to, gain additional yards. I think that is going to help him. So I'm not too worried about it, but it's definitely, the downfall of his profile.
Strength and contact balance, I gave him an A plus. I mean, you can't watch this dude and just not say to yourself, like, the contact balance and the strength. I mean, guys just bounce off his lower half, and he's got the strength. He can move piles, and it's just. How about that play in Texas when that offensive lineman grabbed his ass and drug him in for that touchdown? It was like from the 4 yard line, and he's moved so
I know
many
what you're saying.
piles. It's insane. So
I
you got to give
love
him an
it.
A plus. Yeah.
Well, I give him A plus plus, and that is on the
Wow.
sheet, man. I don't know
Yeah.
who in this draft or any draft that I'm thinking of that plays more physical than what I saw from Cam Skattebo in that Texas game. That was
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, he's a physical player, man. I think
Yeah.
he likes it too. He likes to punish
Oh,
people.
he
There's no
loves it. You can
he loves
tell,
it.
man. He gets high off of it. I
Yeah,
love that.
he does. Receiving ability, I gave him an A, dude. I mean, listen, if you're 468 yards in the air and you're the top receiving back in the top 30 running backs go into the draft with 3 touchdowns. He had the second most touchdowns as well through the air. I don't know. I got to give you an A, man. You
Crazy.
got to get one. Got to get.
Yeah. I gave him a B just because I don't know how he's gonna separate from NFL level competition as a
Sure.
receiver. The hands look good. I think
Yeah,
he can
hands look
definitely
good.
absolutely be
Body control.
viable. I mean, yeah, body control. Like a B is not a bad grade. I just because of how I don't know how he's gonna separate and maybe catching above the rim as needed, I gave him a B, and that's probably me nitpicking.
All right, last thing, is he a day 2 or day 3 pick?
Oh man. I'd say he's probably that Marshawn Lloyd back end round 3 type of guy if he does get day 2. I don't think
Yeah.
he's anywhere, second round. Like, I see a back end round 3 if he gets day 2. Other than that, easily early day 3.
Yeah, I think anywhere from 3.5 to 4.5, 5, I think is where he is gonna come off the
That's a
board.
good range. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think that's a
I
good
think
range.
people are gonna love
Yep.
this kid. He's just his work ethic and his
Yeah.
tenacity,
I love him.
he's people are gonna fall in love with him. All right, there you guys go. There is our rookie scouting report on Mr. Cam Skattebo.